Okay. Hi there, my name is Abhinav Gupta, lead developer and CEO at GameScorpion Inc. And today we're going to be going over how to create a universal binary from ShiVa 3D straight to Apple. Alright, so let's begin. I'm going to try and move through this fast so that we can try and get this under 10 minutes. Alright, so first thing you're going to do is inside of ShiVa, you're going to export your app. Okay, this one here is called Music Guitar Instrument. We're going to click on Game, Export, and then after that choose your output, click export, and you should end up with something like this. Okay, once you've got that there, what you're going to do is you're going to need your assets, which are the two icons for the iPhone and the iPad. In this case I'm putting 57 by 57 for iPhone and 72 by 72 for iPad. If you've got retina displays, it's going to be even larger. You've got the 114 by 114 for retina display devices. So that's that part there. And then you're going to need some screenshots for your startup screen. Anyways, okay, let's go to our Mac file system. So I'm accessing my Mac through the network here. I've got a Mac Air, so it's accessed here. I'm going to create a new folder here. Okay, and I'm going to name it the name of the actual app that we're uploading. Okay. And so basically, if I click on this here, right click, let's click on rename. Let's do this as Music Guitar Instrument. Okay, then after that, once we've done that, we are going to copy our resources here. So I'm going to click on this one here, which is the STK file from ShiVa. I'm going to right click on it, and I can click on copy, or I can hit Control C. I'm going to go into my Mac now and paste it. Okay, like I said, I'm doing this on the network through Windows. Okay, then after that, I'm going to right click on my two icon files. I'm going to copy them over. I'm going to click on paste. I'm just going to go into my previous app just to get the other screenshots. We actually need the loading screens. So let's just go and grab those there. It's moving a little slow here. There we go. I'm just going to take those there, and I'm going to move them into here. Okay. So now I've got these files here all set up. We've got the launch image here. This is for landscape for iPads. This is for iPhones and iPod touches, and this is for retina display iPhones and iPod touches here. This size 640 by 960. This size 320 by 480 is for those iPhones and iPod touches, which are older and non-retina display ones, and this is for your iPad. This one here, the 1024 by 768, you just have to flip it to 768 by 1024. Okay, anyways, let's go now into our Mac. So everything now happens on the Mac side here, and I'm doing this through remote access here. Once again, I'm going to try and keep it as fast as I can. Okay, so we're going to go inside of ShiVa 3D, ShiVa authoring tool. I've got my Finder open here inside of the Mac, so that's good. So we're opening up ShiVa 3D here. We're going to start off with iPhone here. We're going to open this, and we're going to get an application pack here, and we are going to select the actual folder, Music Guitar Instrument. There we go. My STK file is what I'm selecting. Alright, then I'm going to select the icon, in this case the iPhone version, which is going to be 57 by 57. Then after that, I'm going to be selecting my startup splash screen, which is the screens I was talking about. In this case here, it's going to be the 320 by 480 one because it's the iPhone version. I'm going to click on step 2, authoring. I'm going to change this from application to project. I'm going to change this to the provision file for developer. I'm going to now name this my reverse domain naming as com.gamescorpion.musicguitarinstrument. So com.gamescorpion.musicguitarinstrument. Yeah, the rest of it, it all has to be a lowercase, so that's how it works. Instrument, perfect. My signing identity is basically who's the user who's using this computer right now. I'm inside of my own username. This is my Mac Air book, so it's under my username. Okay, next. I'm going to go on step 3, build. I'm going to select development. I'm going to click on build. Okay, so it's going to start building there. It's going to open up right inside of Xcode. Oh, shoot. Sorry, I made a mistake there. I do apologize about that. Click OK. This is development, authoring. Make sure your authoring type is project. Sorry about that. Step 2, authoring type, project, build, development. There we go. Now it'll take you into Xcode. Okay. Once you're done that, you're going to repeat the process fast for the iPad. Okay, so I'm going to do the iPad one now. Same idea. Alright, application pack here. Alright, let's go into the folder, and we're going to select the SDK file now again. You'll notice that the other folder has been created. That's because it's part of the Xcode there. Alright, now I'm going to select the icon. So music guitar instrument icon is for the iPad 72 by 72. Click OK, and then the start splash screen here is going to be for the iPad. It is going to be this guy right here, sorry, wrong one, the top one here. If it'll load. Okay, 768 by 1024. Click on step 2, authoring. Make sure your authoring type is set to project. Okay, make sure your provisioning profile is your development account. Once again, the reverse domain notation. Okay, is com.GameScorpion.music guitar instrument. Okay, and then after that, signing identity is your username of the system. Click on step 3, change this to development, and click build. And it's going to ask you this pop-up, do you want to continue even though a folder exists? You hit no because it's trying to rebuild the iPhone project. You don't want to do that. So now it's going to create the iPad version. We're going to go straight to the Xcode right after this. Now the thing is, you can tell whether you are using the iPad or the iPhone version of Xcode that was of the project that was generated. So in this case, we know it's the iPad version, and so we don't want to use that. I'm going to hit the red X here and close that off. It's the iPhone version which I want, which is this guy here. Alright, now the rest of this is straight in Xcode. So what we're going to do now is we're going to delete the iPhone A file here. So just hit the delete button, remove the reference. You don't want anything else. Alright, let's click on this arrow right here on resources and open up resources. Now let's go into Finder, and we are going to select the iPad version. So you can notice up here where it says music guitar instrument underscore iPad. That's how you know you're in the iPad folder. We're going to be copying things over into the iPhone folder. So first go to the iPad folder, click on S3D client underscore iPad, right click on it, or in your Mac it's going to be control click. Alright, and then after that you're going to go down to copy S3D client iPad A. You're going to go to the iPhone folder now, and you're going to right click on a white area here, and you're going to click on paste item. That's going to paste the iPad file over. Now we need to copy the resources in. So go back to your iPad folder, click on resources, click on default, okay, and we're going to click on it one more time. That's going to allow us to edit it, okay, and you're going to type in dash landscape. Alright, once you're done with that, you're going to command click, alright, on your Mac. So I'm holding down the command key. I'm going to click on these 3 files here, the icon, main window underscore pad, and default landscape. Then I'm going to click, hold, and drag right into my Xcode and let go inside of the resources section. Okay, this first one is checked off, copy items if it's needed. Click on finish, everything else should be fine. Alright, next thing we're going to do is we're going to click on this top project here. Now the version of Xcode that I'm using is 4.4, so I click on about Xcode there. Alright, it's the latest one as of 2012 August 2nd. Alright, now I'm going to be here inside of this main folder. I'm going to click on build settings. Alright, now let's check this out here. Okay, first I'm going to click on this top one here for architectures. I'm going to click on other. I'm going to delete this first line here. Now I'm going to add the plus key. I'm going to type in ARM v7. Okay, and then after that I'm going to hit plus again. I'm going to type in ARM v6. Perfect. I'm going to click outside of it, and now I've got that set up there. Next we're going to go down. Okay, I'm going to set up my code signing identity as developer for now. Just remember this part because you're going to come back to this when we actually are going to create the final binary to send to Apple. Alright, just specifically that area. Let's go up again, move down again. Target device family. So this is how we make our universal binary. We're going to choose iPhone and iPad. Okay, then after that my iOS deployment target is going to be iOS 3.2. Alright, let's come back over. iOS 3.2 introduces a lot of things, but just stick with 3.2 and you'll pretty much hit a lot of different devices there. Okay, so we're going to go to other linker flags under the linking settings. And so now I want you to click on that little arrow there, and we're going to hit the plus button. Okay, so we're going to hit the plus button there, and so now you're going to see it says all load. We want to type in right after that S3D client underscore iPhone dot A, and you're going to select your SDK architecture as ARMv6. Alright, and your SDK should say any SDK architecture should be ARMv6. That's for the iPhone. I'm going to go up here to deployment and hit the plus button again where it was plus, and this time I'm going to enter S3D client underscore iPad dot A. Alright, you might end up with a screen like this. If you double click, you might see this. All you do is you add a plus sign and you can add in your S3D client iPad dot A. Same idea. Okay, you can either click in it or you could tap in it or whatever. Okay, change your SDK architecture to ARMv7 for the S3D client iPad A. Okay, and so it should now look like this. Alright, next what we're going to do is we're going to go into the info.plist. Alright, inside of here, let's start off at the top here, and we are going to click on icon file, and we are going to hit the plus button next to it, and we're going to type in cf bundle icon files, and that is going to create an array for us of icon files. I click on the arrow on the left, and I'm going to type in icon underscore 57 by 57.png. Okay, that's our that's our iPhone icon. I'm going to click on that item 0 and I'm going to hit the plus button, and now we're going to do the iPad icon. So icon underscore 72 by 72.png. Okay, and remember it's referencing these specific two files. Okay, next we're going to come back here. We're going to click on the first icon file and we're going to hit the minus button. That'll remove that line. Okay, so that was that part. Now we can close that line up so that we can do that. We're going to go to this next part here. It's called the main nib file base name. Okay, I'm going to hit the plus button there. Alright, and I'm just going to go into my previous tutorial here. And we're going to go and we're going to type in this part right here, ns main nib file. Okay, so over here, type inside of here, back that up, ns main nib file tilde iPad. Okay, and there we go. That's going to now be for the iPad, and we're going to type in main window underscore pad. Okay, case is an important part. Capital M, capital W, and capital P. Hit enter, and we're good there. Now let's go down here. Minimum OS version should be 3.2. Okay, as we defined earlier. Alright, and now at the very bottom, we're going to go down and we're going to add another category by hitting the plus. If you actually see at the very bottom, we're going to hit the plus button. Alright, and we are going to type in UI launch image file tilde iPad. So UI launch image file, UI launch image file tilde iPad. And that is going to be our launch image for iPad devices. So that is default landscape.png. Okay, great. So that's done there. So now we're going to test it on our device. So first thing we have to do is we need to do a product build. Now this is going to fail right now because I'm creating targets, and guess what? Right now, if I go to product and edit scheme, you'll notice that my target is a simulator. Okay, well guess what? That's not a physical target. So what's going to happen is when I build this, we're going to get an error and it's going to not work, right? And many people who try to do universal binaries, they don't know why they get this error. And it's the most common error. It's the first time they do this and they get like a whole bunch of errors coming up and saying its build failed. That's because you haven't plugged in your physical device, right? And then you'll spend hours just on this. It's a waste of your time. So plug in your physical device now. Okay, you just heard that, so just wait for it to load up here. That's my wife's iPod. Alright, so I'm just going to click on product, edit scheme. And it's still not loaded yet, so I have to wait. Okay, there's my iTunes picking it up now. Okay, cancel. Okay, so it's picked up my wife's iPod, so now I'm going to go back here, click on product and Xcode, edit scheme, and I'm going to select the iPod, the physical device. Now I click OK. Now when I hit build, it'll work. So let's click on build. It'll work. And what I'm going to do is, and what you always want to do is you want to now test this in both your devices, or all your devices if you've got them. I've got an iPad and an iPod Touch, so we're going to test it in both. And iPod Touch's architecture is very similar to the iPhone, in the difference that I've pretty much noticed is you just get an extra microphone, like you've got the phone on the iPhone itself. But other than that, oh, and maybe a little bit of more processor speed, but there we go, so build succeeded, okay. Yeah, but other than that, pretty much the same base is there. Okay, so we're going to click on product run, and I'm going to test it out on this device here. So let's see how it runs here. I'm just waiting, and what you're going to notice is that a little log window is going to show up for debugging at the bottom. So we're going to do the quick testing, and then I'm going to show you how to quickly compile it right after that. And all it is now is once you've tested it and you know it's working, and it's loading up here, so it's playing on my end, we're just going to change the signing identity to distribution, and then there's a few more steps that we do, and it'll be uploaded. Okay, so as you can see, it's showing me, the log setting, and you'll notice that the logs are very similar to what we have in ShiVa. Okay, here we go. Okay, how's it working? Alright, sounds good. It looks good. It's doing the flips. Great. Alright, so I'm just going to stop this now. I'm going to redo the test again on the iPad. The exact same test. So now I'm plugging the iPad in. Alright. Okay, there we go. iPad's plugged in. I'm going to do product run. And it should automatically be in, already on the iPad because it's going to detect the device. So it says build succeeded, which tells me that it's already detected the device, which is cool. Okay, and now I'm just waiting. Okay, and we should see some output here. There we go. So that's how I know it's going good. Alright, perfect. Alright, so it's working great. Flip is working perfect. There we go. So now we're ready to do our upload. So now what we're going to do is, no, I don't need to change the color. Thank you. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go back to our main section here. Okay, so click on that folder, click on the actual main folder. Make sure you're working in targets. Don't work in the project section, that'll mess you up. Work in the targets, go to build settings, and now what we're going to do here is we're going to go up to our code signing identity, changes to distribution now. Alright, so there we go, I've changed it to distribution. Alright, perfect. Now we are going to click on product. We're going to stop what it was doing. We're going to clean it so that we're doing it all fresh now. And we're going to hit product and build. Alright, now we're creating our final binary, which is our distribution signing identity that we're using. Alright, we're almost done here. While it's doing that, we're going into our Finder. We're opening up the actual section here. Hold on 1 second. Okay, yeah, so let's go into our phone one here. And as you can see, whoa, where did I go? Sorry about that. It says build succeeded, perfect. So now we're in the phone section. So now we've got our file here. This is an app file, and you'll notice it has a weird little icon, but it's got your name, right? You're going to right click on that file, okay, and you're going to go down to compress music guitar instrument, or compress, it'll be your app name. So click on compress, and it's going to create a zip file for you. Okay, now your app on iTunes must be ready for an upload. Okay, it must be waiting for binary submission. So let's go to our Safari just to take a look here. Okay, I'm just going to log into my iTunes Connect here so you can see this here, that it's ready to go. So we go inside here. Alright, it's loading. Go into your applications to manage your applications. Alright, and go to your app. In this case, it's music guitar instrument. And you see it says waiting for upload. But if I was editing this for the first time, I would upload all my assets and everything. Okay, and in this top right corner here, where it shows, info at GameScorpion or whatever your company name is, you should usually end up seeing a binary upload or ready to upload binary button. that's what you're going to be clicking and following the steps about cryptography and stuff. You just figure out what that is, just hit yes or no or whatever it is for your app. Pretty soon you'll get something called waiting for upload, and that's what you're looking for. So once you have that, you've got your zip file. So once you have that, you have your zip file, you need a program now to upload your app, and that's what we call the application loader. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. Either you find it through Finder. For me, I actually have the application loader right here. Here it is, called application loader, and I'm clicking on that there. Now remember, the reason why my screen looks like this is I am remotely accessing my Mac Air, but I have a physical Mac system. If you don't, it's going to be very hard for you to do this. Okay, so I'm going to choose an application here. Now here's the thing, if you don't see this window, like you should be seeing, hold on, I'm going to click on cancel here. Right, you should be seeing this window. If you don't, you click on File and New, and then you will see this window called Welcome to Application Loader. Okay, so you click on Deliver Your App, alright, and you're going to choose. And if you've done it correctly, you should see your app in the list here. Alright, and it is not that one, it is Music Guitar Instrument that we are uploading. I'm going to click on Next, and now it's going to let me choose the zip file. So now, here we go. I look for the folder, that's Music Piano Instrument. We are on Music Guitar Instrument. I'm going to go to the folder, there it is. I'm going to select the zip file, and remember your reverse domain name is what's checked. So I'm going to click on Send, and there we go. And that's pretty much it. And now it'll do a check. Now if there are any errors in the file, you'll see them usually immediately, because it'll tell you if, for example, your bundle ID is incorrect or whatever. Anyways, that's it in a nutshell. It's going to take about 10-15 minutes or so to upload, and you're good to go. And you just repeat the process. Congratulations, you made a universal binary. Enjoy. And by the way, check us out on Facebook, on Twitter, GameScorpion.com. That's our company name, and GameScorpion Inc. is the corporation. My name is Abhinav Gupta. I'm the lead developer and CEO, and you've been checking it out right here. Take care.